Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Pretty Much by Pretty and Co. This is our very first podcast, and the reason we initiated something like this is truly very personal to me, and it comes from straight from my heart. There was a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that I heard and it stayed with me. It goes like there will be a group of people on the day of judgment who will enter paradise, and their hearts will be like those of the birds. Now, how do we make our hearts soft like that of the birds? Through empathy, through understanding each other's struggles, through basically just putting ourselves in the other person's shoes. Which is why today I've chosen a topic which is deeply close to my heart: infertility. Now, this is something that more than a couple of people who are close to me, I've seen their struggle. This is something that can happen to anyone. And this is something that I really, really want to throw light on. Today, present with us is Dr. Nida Zehra. She's a psychologist with an experience of 12 years. That's commendable.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And what I want to do with you today is something that has not been done before. Now we know the medical aspect, why it happens, hormones, IVF, all of that. But I want to look at it empathetically. I want to know what is it that we can say to these people? How do we support these people? If we are going through something like this, how do we come out of it stronger and not let it break us? Now, when it comes to infertility, there are two kinds of couples. There are couples who are not planning a baby, and then there are couples who are dealing with infertility. Often we see that couples who are not ready for a baby, either through because of finances or their living situation or anything of that sort, they get the same questions that a couple who's dealing with infertility gets.
Right.
Could you please elaborate and differentiate between the two?
Right. First of all, I would like to thank you for creating such space where we can, make such conversations. And the topic that you've chosen is something that really touches the core of womanhood. So I'm really glad that we're doing this. And like you rightly said, there are two types of situations. Okay. One, that the couple that is not planning, and the other that is infertile.
Correct.
So, unfortunately, both are seen under the same roof, but there's a difference. Difference is that one couple, the decision is their own. They have made a decision to not to have a child for as much as time they think, because it is their own decision and no one can force them and no one can suggest them because it's their own personal choice.
But people end up suggesting,
Right.
people end up
Unfortunately.
being intrusive.
Unfortunately. So this is one first and foremost thing that we have to understand, that it is their own personal choice. So there is no suggestions, no forcing in it. And then this is something which is not a diagnosis. Okay. So, but infertility, is a diagnosis where there is a lot of uncertainty. Someone who is going through infertility, there's a lot of uncertainty for them because the couple doesn't know when they could have a child.
And if they could have
and
a
if
child.
they could have a child, because there is no reason for it. Both men and women can be responsible, or if can be affected for the same.
But I want to ask you, why is the onus of infertility mainly on women?
So there are some assumptions about the infertility. Unfortunately, because most of the cultures, Asians or African cultures and societies, most of the cultures have this notion that they're mostly goal focused, and they think that no, there has to be some result. And unfortunately, because the women are raised in a way that you have to be extra polite, extra, accommodating.
Yeah,
So,
accommodating.
क्योंकि कभी-कभी ऐसा होता है, whenever you ask men this question, they'll be upfront, like it's none of your business.
Right.
But औरतों के साथ ऐसा होता है कि, they get scared. They think that it's our fault. I'm at fault. There's something wrong with my body. So
then
that is why most
which
of
is
the
not
burden,
true. Yeah.
not true. That's why most of the burden is falls on the
Women, yeah.
yeah.
You know, our religion has a very beautiful code of ethics.
Right.
We may falter from time to time. We may not be able to follow it, but the code of conduct is there.
There.
Now, nobody is, no one can speak between the private matters of a couple.
True.
Even our children, they are a third party.
Not allowed.
When it comes to a couple, not even the children, not the parents of the girl or the boy.
Right.
Nobody can speak between the private matters of a couple. But you've seen, like in our society, now I don't believe this. I don't believe that you need to be a mother to be a complete woman. And we know this from our religion. Some of the greatest women were not blessed with children. Now, that said, sometimes as a society, we tend to forget that all of this, and we tend to link motherhood and femininity.
Right.
Now, there's a silent grief in these women. How do they deal with it?
So first of all, we have to understand, to be that empath, we have to understand their journey. So first of all, when a woman understands that she is going through infertility, the first and foremost emotion that she goes through is shock, because she is not able to address this, and she is not able to gather it that this can happen to me. This is something that is, that was not even acceptable at the first place for her, because in our society, there's a timeline for everything.
Yes.
We have made that timeline.
Get married, have kids, have a second
there is a
one.
time for education. इतने साल में मैं पढ़ाई खत्म करूंगी, फिर मैं शादी करूंगी, फिर बच्चा होगा, फिर वो बड़ा होगा. So there's a timeline for everything, and we have made this. There is no timeline. Like you rightly said, our religion is such that whenever we talk about infertility or the people who are dealing with it, the couples who are dealing with it, Islam has really dealt this with a lot of compassion and with a lot of dignity. So there's a reason for everything that we need to, understand at the first place. So these couples go through shock first of all. And then there is a, identity crisis. Just ko hum kahenge. There's a disruption of identity, because plan kuch aur tha. The timeline was something else, but something else happened. So what happened to that woman? Her whole identity crashes down, and she lives a life like she thinks that the shock is a numbing shock. It is not that dramatic shock. Oh, mera saath kya ho gaya? But it's a very silent shock, a numbing shock. She feels that the whole world is, working and moving, and I am just standing somewhere waiting for something that I don't know will I ever get it or not. So there is a silent grief. There is a numbness in that couple. And what is she grieving about?
Yes.
We have to understand.
No one sees that.
We say that it is an unimaginable, loss. For us, okay, for her, it is an unimaginable loss, but for the other people, it is something that she has just imagined.
Yeah.
It is
like
her
an imaginary law. Every time you get your period and you're planning a baby,
Right.
you
So-
feel defeated. You could
So
possibly-
it is something that it is, it is grieving for that bedtime stories that she want to, try with her child. And then sometimes, the whole motherhood, whatever comes in it. बच्चे को खाना खिलाना, बच्चे को सुलाना, बच्चे को school भेजना, all the runs, school runs, and then all the celebrations, the birthday celebrations.
Every
everything.
menstruation that you get while you're planning a
Right.
baby, it's like a defeat.
A defeat, because that is why it is a linear grief, because there is no stoppage for it. Every month you recall it with a negative test. Every month you feel that you're defeated. Every month you feel that you're not worth it. So a lot is happening in a woman's body. She feels alienated from her body. She feels that this body is just a site of testing. Every month you're testing, every month you're trying, every month you're, losing yourself in this. So this grief is something that we need to understand. But unfortunately, sometimes in our society, this grief or this pain is not considered as legitimate, because you can't see it. You know?
But can anyone specify the legitimacy of pain? It's different to different people.
Right. That is where empathy and compassion come in. So because this is something she cannot show. There is no, for this grief there was no rituals done. There was no funeral for this.
No mourning.
There was no mourning.
Public support.
No support. Nothing. This is a struggle that she knows, that the couple knows they are going through.
Right. So there's every month it's a linear process
Right.
till you are able to conceive.
Right.
And then the society doesn't make it easy for such people because
Definitely.
what I had done is when I was researching on this episode, I reached out to a group on Facebook called Yagjut, and I also on my Instagram and on Yagjut, I tried to get women to tell me their stories on anonymity, of course. And what I took back from it was really shocking. The comments that are made, the eyes on the tummy.
Right.
Some relatives track their menstruation. Okay. And the sympathy also that they get. It's a lot of toxic positivity. It'll happen when they know it'll happen when it has to happen. And I'll give you a personal example. Now, this happened with a friend of mine.
Okay.
She was not able to conceive for, she's still not been able to conceive. It's been 17 years. Now, when I got pregnant, and see, infertility is something that can happen to anyone.
To anyone.
Maybe you have a first baby and the second one,
You'll get difficulties.
yes. So we can never be too confident or too sure about these things. It can happen to us. It can happen to our loved ones,
Right.
and it's Allah's will. I believe truly that. So when I got pregnant, I took my friend with me to one of my prenatal tests, and because she wanted to see what it looks like, and I took her with me, and she started to sob in the doctor's room. And I asked her what happened, and she couldn't talk. And then later on, as we left, I asked her in the car what happened. She's like, "You're the first person who has taken me. No one ever has taken me because the family that I'm married into, she has 2 sister-in-laws. Both of them got pregnant,
Okay.
and she's like, they didn't tell me till they were in the 5th month because the elders in our home, they believed because I'm not able to conceive and I'm the oldest daughter-in-law, I would put an evil eye on their babies." And look, I believe in the I'm okay, but will I let my suspicion about someone get me to hurt them? No. If I'm suspicious, it's my issue.
Definitely.
I'm not going to let my suspicion hurt another person. I'm not ever going to run crazy or wild with that. So what is it that, the elders in the family, or sometimes people who are too paranoid, they start alienating these people from birthdays, from celebrations, only because they don't have children. So what do you say about that?
See, first of all, we have to understand that infertility is not just a reproductive struggle, but it is a psychological struggle as well. So we have to understand that first. And like you said, that she started sobbing, and you would have seen girls who are unable to conceive. Aapko lagta hoga ki, let's not take our kids. Maybe she's jealous of my kid, or maybe she'll get frustrated, she'll get angry. So these are some of the emotions that are felt by a person, a normal person, whosoever. So, but what are these emotions basically? These emotions are only the grief responses. So even if she was sobbing, or she was not able to carry herself at that moment, she was not able to just take it in, because it was something that was not happening for her, that she has dreamt of. So at that point of time, a person can get jealous. At that time, a person can get frustrated because something is not happening. But we have to understand that these emotions are just a grief response. And what we have to do, because our culture, we encourage...
And no, we're not putting evil eye on their children.
And I'll come to that as well. And these, because our society encourages positivity. That's also good. It idolizes patience and gratitude.
Idolizes patience.
Okay, that is
Especially
also good.
patience in
But
women.
you have to understand that, this is something that a person is grieving. And that is why a woman faces guilt also. She thinks that maybe I'm not spiritually strong, maybe my iman is not that strong. Because you'll get to hear things like Allah pe yakin rakho, ho jayega, jab waqt hoga ho jayega, things will happen, maybe it is just a test for you. And then the girl thinks that, why I'm not able to understand this thing? Am I not spiritually strong, or is my iman not strong? So वो चीज़ें आपकी जो guilt है, it creates that guilt inside you. Also you talked about, कि दूर रखते हैं, बच्चों को दूर रखते हैं because there is evil eye.
Because I heard those stories and I was appalled reading.
That, see, most of it is just the assumptions that the society has made. ठीक है ना? Because
It's alienating in nature.
right.
You're hurting someone with your suspicion and your assumptions. So that is not a good
because the assumption made, the narratives made is that, it is just a woman's problem. First of all.
Yes.
And it is a punishment that is given to a woman because she has done something in her past life. Maybe she is going through this. ये एक assumption है. And on the basis of this assumption, the people treat you. So which is a very disheartening thing. क्योंकि ये जो assumptions हमारी society पे बनी हुई है, उसके accordingly you are being treated. You understand? There is social withdrawal. There is, people or couples who go through infertility. The social withdrawal is seen in them, but this is not, a lack of understanding or lack of love. They only withdraw from social gatherings because they want to preserve their emotional being.
How can we give support to such people?
Right. First of all, you have to understand that we have to stop this toxic positivity. Okay, we have to understand the emotional stability or emotional, the way a person is feeling, because you are not able to get what you want. So what we can do is, we have to build that resilience
Within us.
But how do we do that?
Before we
Resilience.
launch that, I want to touch a few more social taboos.
Okay.
Like I said, they deal with slangs that are thrown at them. Defected piece, bunch, unkind words. Unkind words literally could happen to anyone's sister, mother, your own self. Tracking of the menstruation dates. As a community, what is wrong with us that we would stoop to such a level?
Because unfortunately, womanhood is equal to motherhood. That's what we have made it. And unfortunately, to prove that, to prove your, femininity, until and unless you're not a mother, it is something you cannot prove. Your femininity is
That needs
stick.
to change. I think that is a narrative which still needs to change.
Because first of all, there has to be a change of narrative, because these assumptions are been made by the society, and based on these assumptions, the narratives are based, and based on these narratives, you are being treated. So first of all, what we have to focus on is to change the narratives that are in our society. Ki motherhood is equal to,
Femininity.
feminine.
It is not.
It is not. We have to look beyond things. We have to separate your own identity from the motherhood.
Correct.
ठीक है ना? Because you will have seen कि हमारी society में ऐसा होता है कि बचपन में भी in childhood the girls are socialized to play with dolls. And they pretend to be mothers, they pretend to, change the
Caregivers.
diapers, caretakers and everything. And marriage, unfortunately, has been seen as a, step towards childbirth rather than compatibility. We have changed the whole meaning of marriage. We think that marriage is only childbirth. But no, it's more about compatibility, it's more about building your own self.
The children will eventually grow up,
Right.
have a life of their own, and you are left with your spouse.
You have to understand that it is
that
not
is the
your
person
failure.
who's always going to be with you.
Definitely. But what happens, there are problems in between the couples as well. Because
Can you elaborate?
there is a, the focus is on gold.
Goal, yeah.
Goal focused, ways. So we need to change that. We need to change that. We need to, be more empathetic, like you said, towards our partners as well. no matter if you're a boy or a girl, because it is happening with both of us, and we should encourage joint medical treatments. एंड क्योंकि होता है ना, कभी कभी आपने देखा होगा कि औरतें अकेली डॉक्टर्स के पास अपॉइंटमेंट्स लेके फिर होती हैं, जो उनके पार्टनर्स हैं उनको पता भी नहीं होता है, so there has to be a collaboration between a couple when you're going through, because this is what marriage is about.
Even with children, they, like I said, they grow up, they have a life of their own, and if you don't, as a woman, have another goal,
Right.
apart from motherhood, you're going to end up being a very noble mother-in-law.
Definitely. And unfortunately, society has seen that, someone who saves the marriage.
No.
That is what it is, an assumption कि बच्चा होना बहुत जरूरी है.
Yeah.
Until you don't have a kid, you
You have to
struggle
write
for
about
you struggle for your identity, you struggle for your worth, which is very disheartening to see.
True.
You understand? तो ये कुछ ऐसे assumptions है, we really need to
Work on it as a society.
rewrite the narratives.
Speak about it more.
Definitely rewrite the narratives, and then because most of the women, more than emotional struggle, they struggle socially, because उनको जगह नहीं मिलती कि मुंह कहाँ छुपाएं. Because अभी हम किसी शादी में गए हैं, किसी फंक्शन में गए हैं,
कोई सवाल कब
वही
होगा,
कब
अभी
होगा,
तक क्यों
क्या
हुआ.
नहीं
It is
हुआ.
so intrusive. These things are so personal that I don't know, I would even think twice before asking my best friend such a question. And I was not always like this. You learn, you change, you understand.
Of course.
And we all have scope for improvement.
Of course.
So I think improvement definitely needs to happen.
And
because-
definitely, you have to talk about it also.
Hmm.
And then, see, when there are these assumptions as well, when we are talking about building resilience, okay, we also need to be very smart to understand that, I am more than this. I am more than these. My worth is more than this. And, I
How
have
do
to
you
look
build
beyond.
self-worth?
Yeah. So I'm talking about that resilience. And so first of all, you have to separate your identity. You have to anchor your self-worth. You have to anchor your principles. Right? Because when you know something is happening again and again. The other day we were also talking about the reactive abuse.
Reactive abuse, correct.
Like
What is reactive abuse?
Rightly we said,
Yeah.
most of the women fall for it, because this is something, reactive abuse is something when you are being provoked repeatedly, you are being abused, you are being insulted,
You're being put in a
you're being
position
put
to
in a
reply
position-
aggressively.
Yeah. And like I said, that girls are being raised to be accommodative, to be polite, so we try to take everything in, take everything till we burst out. And then we cry, and then we shout, and then this
How
behavior.
can reactive abuse be used against a person?
That's why I'm saying that when you react, because एक हद है ना, कब तक आप उस चीज को सहोगे? Person is coming to you, and constantly nipping you, and there will be a time when you will burst and you will speak out that no, I am not this, and you will nobody to talk to me like this. But that is the time. This is the time when they uses your behavior. They use your behavior, and they, weaponize.
Who are they?
They weaponize
Who
us.
are they?
They can be anyone. They can be anyone.
Yeah.
Because see, the smartness.
Yeah. Anyway, you're going through a marital problem.
Right.
It's not a marital problem. It is made by the society as that. And then there is the constant nudging, the constant intrusion, and then reactive abuse.
Right. But then,
And then useless behavior.
and then
Yeah.
you have to know the patterns. You understand?
What are the patterns?
Like they say that, before self-explosion, self-prevention is important. So for that self-prevention, you have to first of all, know how the safe boundaries, how to build that safe boundaries. You have to be prepared for the replies, the coming replies. Like you know that you'll go to certain party or koi shaadi mein some function is happening, you go and people will ask you such questions, such intrusive questions, and you should be prepared for the replies. What I'm going to prepare.
Prepare us for the replies.
Like for instance, somebody who is manipulative, you will get to know that this person is manipulative. ये वाली आंटी रोज आती है और मुझे पूछती है कि अच्छा क्या है, क्यों नहीं है, है ना, क्या क्यों नहीं है. And what is the reply that you'll give? हम लोग क्या कहते हैं कि या तो हम disheartened हो जाते हैं या तो रोना शुरू हो जाते हैं, because we are not ready for this. So we have to prepare ourselves for this, because resilience is not having no problem.
He's having problem but knowing how to deal with it.
Resilience is having all the problems but coexisting with those problems. Right? So problems hai, but how to deal with it.
Yes.
Please stop. I am not ready for such conversation. I don't like talking about it. This is my personal
then
thing.
in a community like ours, when a woman is that assertive, she can get labeled arrogant, rude.
See, people have to say what they have to say.
Yeah.
So you have to say
We have a
yourself.
separate episode for that.
Definitely, we need to. But then they have to say what they have to say. But you have to stay calm in your nervous system. You can't be like battling, and you can't be fighting with everyone. You can't be fighting with manipulative people.
And you also cannot give a reply to people who will not understand.
That is where the power of silence comes. The power of disengagement. And once you learn the power of disengagement, where there is no reply, there is no escalating of things, there is no explanations, that is where you're taking this power back from them. Because their power is in your reaction.
Reactive abuse.
You understand? So once you will understand that, this is not an escape. When you are disengagement doesn't mean that you're escaping from it. Disengagement means that you have a strategy. You know how to carry yourself. You know how to deal with your problems. That is what a smart woman would do.
Yes, and not to take all these slurs and slangs personally. Nobody can define it.
Right.
Unless you let them.
Right.
And why should you let them?
First of all, when we talk about empathy and compassion, you are the first one who has to show it
Yes.
yourself. Because in Islam also, a woman is, somebody who has to be dealt with compassion, with love, with deep love. So we have to show it to ourselves first. Unless we don't,
Yes.
we won't be able to do any good to ourselves.
I agree with that. So basically building resilience. Now what about channeling? And what about, see, look, motherhood, it may or may not happen. In both cases, I want you to throw some light on both these situations. How do we channelize our energies? How do we define our self-worth? How do we find something which is adjacent to that?
See, motherhood is only one part of nurturing. It is not all of it. A woman is full of nurture. When we talk about a woman, she's capable of a lot of things. She's capable of love. She's capable of care, giving care. When we talk about motherhood, we're talking about deep love. We're talking about relationships. We are talking about building societies. So we need to know our worth first of all. So we need to look beyond what we are labeled. You understand? So womanhood is only a part of nurture. We have to go beyond, and we have to broaden our perspective in it. We have to broaden our purpose in life. Right? So अगर मेरा purpose life में सिर्फ ये है कि मुझे इस timeline के हिसाब से चलना है, मुझे इतने में शादी करनी है, इतने में बच्चा करना है, इतने में ये करना है,
And then only I'll be successful.
Then only I'll be successful. Then no.
No one can define success.
This is no definition of success.
True.
So you define your success. आप 80 साल में भी शादी कर सकते हो, आपका दिल हो. You get the right one. ठीक है ना? So there is no right, age for having a child. जब अल्लाह ताला अता करेगा तब आपको मिले. हमारे इस्लाम में भी प्रोफेट इब्राहिम अलैहिस्सलाम की or to look at them with empathy, to be with them with empathy and compassion. Because it could happen to anyone. And this is not something which, calculates our worth. एक औरत की जो, like I said in our religion as well, एक औरत को बहुत ऊंचा बिठाया गया है. So first of all, एक औरत की हैसियत से we have to understand our worth and then build on our resilience because we need to be smart individuals. Otherwise, लोग आपको छोड़ेंगे नहीं. लोग नहीं छोड़ते. And it is not only about the girls who are dealing with infertility. It is everyone. You need to understand. Reactive abuse तो किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है. It is not just the girl who are going through. Any girl. Yeah. So you have to first of all anchor your self-worth. You have to anchor your values.
And somewhere become deaf to all of this.
You have to anchor your principles first of all as a woman. Things that are not acceptable for you. Things that are acceptable for you.
And to create a community where we understand and we support each other because each one of us has very unique struggles. As women, we have
We are talking about the diverse
so many
creation.
like the life of a working man and a working woman. The struggles are a lot more because a woman has to see the groceries, she has to see the laundry at home.
Definitely,
Even if you have
say-
help,
maybe their different struggles are different.
Yes.
Men have different struggles, women have different
but the
struggles.
society has made our struggles in such a way
Right.
where we have to give in and we have to do certain things.
But what we can do, because शादी को वैसा ही बनाना है. The best support can be your partner, can be your life partner in this hardship. Because see, life में तो hardships आएंगे ही. You can't run away from your responsibilities. You can't run away from your struggles. But at least we can be there for each other in our struggles. You be with your partner when he needs you. He be with you when you need him. That's what
The
marriage is all
partnership.
about.
Partnership
So
is the
we have
most
to.
important.
So we have to work more towards this rather than doing everything on our own. We can't do everything on our own. We
For
need
ages that's
we
been
need
happening,
we
yeah.
need partnership. We need people around you. We need love. We need all the compassion, all the
Also
empathy.
asking for that.
The-
Asking for something also when a woman does it in many instances, that's also too much.
And then we have to eradicate this toxic positivity. You can't be positive all the time. You need people to cheer you up.
And women need to support each other.
Right, definitely. This is the bottom line.
When I see a girl working or doing well, now I start thinking, okay, she's paving a way for me as well. Maybe I want to be in that profession, but that women gender representation is so
Standing
important.
up for each other, awareing ourselves of it. कि क्या हमारी क्या struggles हो सकती हैं. And being a bit sensitive about it. That we all are human and we all have our own struggles. But we cannot say कि अच्छा मेरी struggle तुमसे ज़्यादा है, तुम्हारी struggle मुझसे कम है. So we can't say these lines. So we
Everyone
have
has their own threshold.
we have to be very considerate when we are with other people because we have to treat each other as human as we are.
How do we build empathy within us?
Empathy comes with acknowledgement, with understanding first of all. क्योंकि जिस बारे में आपको इल्म नहीं हो, knowledge नहीं हो, आप उसको समझ नहीं पाओगे. Okay? You sit with that person, you talk with that person. आपको awareness होगी, आपको knowledge मिलेगी. Then only you can be, you can be an empath. Then only you can be someone who does good to other people. So listening is very important, without judgments.
Now, wrapping up this episode, it was very insightful. I'm very grateful for you to
Thank you.
be my first guest. 25-30 minutes, this is not enough to
Right.
give a lot of insight into someone's plight when they're dealing with something like this. But we have tried, inshallah, small steps, baby steps. And I hope that our listeners can understand and learn empathy. And I can too with them.
Definitely.
Inshallah, let's hope so.
We all.
And we'll see you for episode 2 soon. Allah Hafiz.